Hey guys, what's going on? Tyson the Trainer, back with another video / podcast today. Now, today's topic, I want to talk to you guys about cardio versus weight training, okay? Because I am someone who has changed my opinion lately of, trying to find more of a balance between doing more cardiovascular exercise in between weight training and stopping just focusing so much on weight training, right? So usually, most people come to personal trainers, whether it be in the gym or online, to want to lose weight predominantly or get some type of goals. That's usually not just going to be weight training related, okay? So nutrition is a big important part of that factor, and so is cardiovascular health. However, when you do your personal training certificate, a lot of it, I think actually all of it, is focused on the weight training side of things. How to train with weights in the gym and how to do it correctly and properly. However, unfortunately, fucking the PT certificates are just a joke. And you see how many people come out, including myself when I first came out, just have no idea, right? So unfortunately, there's a fuck around there. However, again, people are coming to see PTs, they're wanting some type of results and they're expecting, oh, okay, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to see this trainer, or I'm going to do online, I'm going to see this trainer. And the trainer gives them a workout program, may give them a step count. If they're nutritionally educated, they'll give them a nutrition program, right? That was me for many years. Actually, it was me until the start of this year, to be honest with you. So 7.5 out of 8 years of my working as a PT or nutritionist, I was just giving weight training, a step target, and nutrition advice, right? Now, if weight loss is the goal, you can definitely get it done with just those three things. Absolutely fine. But we are missing one key component here, which is the cardiovascular health. Because cardiovascular health, or cardio stands for cardiovascular health, and now cardiovascular health is very important. Okay? So doing your steps and doing weight training still will give you some benefit to your cardiovascular health. No doubt about it, We have a step target of about 7,200 steps a day to keep overall healthy. So if you can get that in throughout your day by using a step tracker, I've got my Garmin here, or you can use your phone or whatever it is, that's a good way to start. Right? Getting at least 7,200 steps a day is what they found to be a healthy factor every day. Ideally, push it towards 10K if you can, but if you can't, keep it in the lower end. If you can do more than 10K, excellent, cool. So, just find what's going to be realistic and reasonable for you in regards to step goals. After we got our step goal, then we come to the weight training side of things. A lot of people think they just have to lift weights. All right, I thought that's all my clients need to do, just lift weights. Cardio is going to eat away your muscle mass, or cardio is not going to get good for you, or cardio is going to kill your gains, or all these fucking things that we've said, including myself, about cardio being bad, when it's actually very good for you. And it's going to be more beneficial to your overall health. Okay? So cardiovascular, doing cardiovascular exercise improves your VO2 max. VO2 max has been associated with longevity. Firstly. Secondly, you get an awesome high from doing cardiovascular. You get the they say it's they don't. People say it's an endorphin thing. I'm actually quite sure it's not an endorphin thing that gets released. It may be. I haven't double checked that. But, you get that high after doing cardiovascular exercise. So this morning, I did the assault bike for an hour, and I am just feeling on top of the world at the moment. And it's 3 hours later, It's just a different type of feeling you get from cardio. So it's good for your cardiovascular health. It's good for your VO2 max. It's good for, when I say cardiovascular health, heart health, blood, what's this word called? I'm trying to think. Circulation, lowering blood pressure overall, improving your physical activity, and just contracting muscle. It's good for everything. It's also good for nutrient partitioning, which means when you are someone who's more cardiovascularly fit and you're doing longer term things, I'm not talking endurance running, but you are actually using more calories. And a lot of those calories burned are from carbohydrates, which means you're able to have a higher carbohydrate diet and not have the negative associations of it with not having higher carbohydrates, but having a higher calorie diet in general. You expend more energy, you can have more energy, you have more flexibility with your diet. There are a lot of benefits that come from having a good cardiovascular system. And the reason I want to talk about this today is, again, because there's so many people who are still against it. Or you see people bragging, oh, my client got down to this body weight, or I got down to here and I didn't do any cardio. As if it's like a fucking badge of honor that you got to lose weight without cardio, I don't understand it, because there's nothing cool or, being awesome that you didn't have to do cardiovascular exercise to lose weight. You can do that just by eating and just by walking, You can do it without weight training too. But would you? No. Why the fuck would you? You would do it with weight training to maintain muscle mass, to grow muscle mass, and to be overall healthier. And then if you can, add in the extra cardio because it's good for you. Like, there's no point trying for coaches to teach their clients that cardio is bad or it eats muscle or it's not worth it, don't worry about it, just lift weights. Like, it's a very one-sided and poor mentality to have, right? So the case for cardio, like I've already made, obviously being quite healthy for you, but weights are also still quite healthy for you. So if I was to kind of look at to what you should be doing, ideally weights are going to come as a priority first, okay? Having strong bones is important to prevent osteoporosis and osteoarthritis. Gaining muscle is cool. You look better, you feel better, people are attracted to you, you feel more confident in yourself, you're going to be better at nutrient partitioning. There's heaps of things coming from increased muscle mass, you know. And then just having strength also, you know, helps with everyday life, being able to carry groceries, being able to do other things. There's a lot of benefits coming from weight training. So this is obviously an important thing. It's also great for your mental health too. So firstly, think how many days realistically you can do weights. 3 is absolutely fine. 4 is great. 5 is fantastic. It doesn't matter. 3 to 5 days a week. You don't need more than 5 days a week. Anyone telling you different is a dickhead. I'm telling you right now. Anyone saying you need to train more than 5 days a week, and if your goal is not to build the most amount of muscle possible and be the most jacked person around, you don't need to train 6 days a week. I'm telling you right now. All right? So 3 to 5 days of weight training. Then on your off days, you do cardiovascular exercise. Okay? Now the cardiovascular exercise you're going to choose is entirely up to you and what you like to enjoy. Because this is the second thing. If you want to do cardio, firstly, you choose to do cardio, right? You don't have to. It is beneficial. I would implore you to do it, but I'm not going to force my clients or you to do it, all right? So again, you've done your weight training sessions. Let's say it's 4 days a week. So you've got 3 days off. Do you want to do cardio? Yeah, I want to do cardio on 2 of those days. Okay, sweet. Let's do cardio on 2 of those days. So you still have your step count first to be able to hit, which is 7,200 steps. After your step count, then you do some extra cardio. What do you want to do for your cardio? Whatever's going to make you feel good and whatever's going to be enjoyable and whatever's going to be sustainable. For me, I like to box twice a week. Boxing is very fun for me. It's a new skill that I'm trying to learn because I'm not very coordinated. So trying to learn, you know, how to use my legs and use my hands and everything at the same time. It's actually been really good for my hand-eye coordination. Gets the heart rate up and it's just something different that I'm really, really enjoying. So I do boxing twice a week. And then I do the assault bike once a week for an hour, all right? On a Sunday morning, wake up, just go and smash the assault bike. It's good fun, gets me moving, burns a whole ton of calories, and I'm increasing my VO2 max. That's how I like to have it set up. 4 days of weights, 3 days of cardio. For you, your 2 cardio days could be a run. It could be going on a cross trainer or the elliptical, or a rower, or the assault bike, or swimming, or boxing, or whatever you want to do. There's no rules here. The only rule is that you've got to enjoy what you're going to do. And I'm not saying like, you know, like, oh, fuck, this is so good, I love it. It's just something that you can continuously do, you know. If you're like, Tyson says the assault bike, I better go on the assault bike. And every time you go on the assault bike, you half-ass it, you do it for like 20 minutes, and you just have to force yourself to do it every time, and you're like, fuck, I dread this. Don't do it. Find something you're going to enjoy. Again, it's entirely up to you. There's so many different cardiovascular exercises. Even team sports, you know, if you're playing a team sport, I'm counting that as cardiovascular exercise. Something that's not requiring weights, unless it's F45 and stuff like that, that you're doing, you know, movements. You're getting your heart rate up, you're breathing, you're doing something for your cardiovascular exercise. That is what I'm talking about here. So you add those in to the amount of days you can realistically do. Again, if there's 7 days in a week, you're doing 4 days of weight training, you're doing 2 days of cardio, you're doing 1 day of just your steps, that's a fantastic balance. Right? It's really up to you with what you want to do. But find something you enjoy, find something that's going to be sustainable, and do that. Now, here's the thing that I want to be able to just first iterate. If you were going to do cardio, you want to we separate it away from our weight training. The fact that people say cardio eats muscle mass is fucking stupid. You're not going to lose muscle mass from doing cardio. Unless you do cardio right before or right after your training. All right? The reason for this is because we have certain enzymes in our body. We have AMPK, PGC1 alpha, mTOR, which is a muscle like mammalian targeted of rapamycin. So these are kind of the 3 enzymes we're going to cover here. So when you do cardio, you turn on AMPK. All right, it's like this light switch. The light switch goes on. All right, the cardio light switch goes on. The mTOR or the muscle growth light switch turns off. All right. Then when the mTOR comes on, you can have mTOR on not as high, so it's like a dimmer, so it's like here when you're doing cardiovascular stuff, like again F45 and stuff like that, or CrossFit, which is why there are jacked CrossFitters. However, as soon as you flick on the cardio switch and you've just finished off muscle gain or like, you know, a weight training session, it's going to flick that switch off. Okay, so every time you've done cardio before or after your workout, this cardio is taking over and it's turning the muscle building off. So we want to spread away our cardio as far as we can. Ideally, the further away the better. So minimum 6 hours, try and get as further away as possible, which is why I'm suggesting you do it on different days. Okay, so like again, you know, Monday, for me, it's 4 days weights, 3 days cardio. For you, it might be, again, 4 days weights, 2 days cardio, or you may have to do it 2 on the same day. If you do it 2 on the same day, again, separate it as much as you can. I don't care if you do cardio in the morning and weights in the afternoon, or weights in the morning or cardio in the afternoon, just spread it out as far as you can. That's the most important thing here, okay? Because when you're doing that, what it's going to do is you're going to ensure that you've hit the muscle building part, you've eaten protein like I've talked about after your workout to get the recovery period, you've eaten some carbohydrates to restore your glycogen. Now you're recovering between these sessions to get into your next session, you know? So make sure you eat at least 1 to 2 meals between these sessions that have protein and carbohydrates for recovering in them, and then you'll be able to perform better, okay? Because the thing is, when you train with weights, and we turn on muscle protein synthesis, it's going to be on for 48 hours. So you're always going to be constantly trying to build muscle after you've trained with weights, but the signal can be reduced if you turn on the cardio switch, if that makes sense, okay? So making sure we separate cardio and weights as far away as possible, ideally on separate days, and then you don't need to worry about your muscle mass being lost. Another way you can prevent muscle mass being lost is eating enough protein, all right? Again, because you're doing cardiovascular exercise now on other days, it's just very important to make sure you hit 2 grams per kilogram of body weight a day and trying to eat consistently of protein for about 4 meals during the day to get muscle protein synthesis, you know? All we're trying to do here is reduce the amount of negative effects cardio could have on muscle building, and it's really simple stuff. Separating it, keeping your protein high, and then again, not under eating. If you're trying to lose weight, make sure you're in a small calorie deficit. If you're trying to maintain weight, eat the amount of calories you need, because your energy expenditure will go up with cardiovascular exercise, depending on how much you do. So with that extra energy expended, if you notice the weight's going faster, increase the calories a little bit. Or if you notice you're at maintenance, now you're losing weight, increase the calories a little bit to make that adjustment, all right? It's a very easy way for you to get caught up, like not realize that you could be losing weight or losing muscle mass if you're doing too much cardiovascular exercise, you know? And this is a big thing. People are like, oh, I just started running, I just started shredding the weight. Well, it's like, yeah, you probably started changing the way you eat, firstly. Secondly, you've gone from doing fuck all to going for big runs. So of course you're gonna be able to burn more calories. And if you're not eating enough, then of course you're gonna lose weight because you probably made better nutrition choices too. So with making just better nutrition choices and increasing your energy expenditure through running or anything else, you will lose weight, you know? But again, we want it to be body fat, not muscle mass. So ensuring you have enough protein and separating the cardio from the weights is gonna be the best way to go, all right? And just like with weight training, when you have deload periods, you deload your cardio too. So I'm not a running coach, I'm not a cardiovascular fitness coach, if there is one, but you progress each week. It's progression, you know, it's a mesocycle. So if you're running 2Ks this week, you might run 2.5Ks next week or whatever it's gonna be, and you build up, all right? But then what I like to do is time my deload on my weight training session with my deload with my run. So I have one solid week where it's very light. I skip the gym for my deload because I can't be fucked to do a deload in the gym and I just take time off. And with my cardiovascular stuff, I just taper it back down to a 50% mark, right? So a lot lighter, a lot easier, a lot cruisier, but it makes me feel better overall, and it just helps you recover, okay? So kind of trying to combine those two deloads together in that 1 week is going to be beneficial just to be able to recover and then hit the ground running again, and you keep building up, you know? Mesocycles with training, mesocycles cycles with cardiovascular health. They're both just important, so make sure that you're going to be able to time your deloads with that too. What else do I want to say about cardiovascular health and weight training? Again, you know, it's all in something that you can be sustainable and enjoy, obviously, something you're going to be able to just make sure you can continuously do. And as I'm such a big advocate of it, you don't have to do it though, you know. I would highly recommend if you can do it, but at the end of the day, it's got to fit within your lifestyle. Don't try to force something, all right? And at the same time, again, if you just want to do 3 days of weight training a week and then the rest cardio, it's absolutely fine. You've got to find what your balance. It's absolutely fine. You've got to find what your balance is and what's going to suit you, you know? I personally have never felt better. My blood pressure's down. It was a little bit high because of my testosterone replacement, so now it's gone down. My cardiovascular fitness has improved and my VO2 max is in the 51s, which is a very good thing for me, who's a heavier individual, you know? Being 90 kilos and being able to have a high cardiovascular health and a high amount of muscle mass, I'm doing quite well. So I'm quite happy with that, you know? And again, you can be getting these benefits, health markers too, by continuously doing this and just making sure you're taking care of your nutrition, your weight training, and your cardiovascular health and your steps, okay? It's very simple. So I just want to obviously create this just so you don't have scarcity about doing cardiovascular exercises. I would recommend it if you had the time to do it on your other days. And again, just find out what's enjoyable for you, you know? If, on the other hand, you start doing more cardiovascular exercise and less weight training, you will lose muscle mass, all right? So making sure, it depends on what you want to do. If you start doing 5 days of cardio, 2 days of weights, you'll lose muscle mass. If you do 4 days of cardio and 3 days of weights, you'll lose a little bit of muscle mass, you know? So it depends on what you're happy with. If you're currently happy with the physique you're at, like I was, what I did is I still train 4 days a week with weights, and I keep trying to progress, because linear progression or, you know, some type of mesocycle to improve your weight training by getting stronger, increasing volume, things like that, that's very important too. Because being able to maintain muscle mass is quite easy to be able to lift, you know, you don't need a lot. However, when you're trying to maintain, and now you're also doing cardiovascular health, you can slowly start to drop a little bit of muscle mass. So always still focus on, with those mesocycles, progressing. Increasing reps, increasing sets, increasing weight, doing something to make your weight training harder each week, just like you will be with your cardiovascular health, and that way you're going to get the best of both worlds. Cool, that is the podcast, or that is the episode. I hope it was helpful. If you guys have any questions about cardio or weights or anything, message me on Instagram at Tyson the Trainer with 2 R's. And until next time, guys, speak to you then.